Hey there, everyone. Dr. Scott here. Today, I want to dive into the promise of AI. I'll be honest, I find myself completely engrossed with using AI in my business. We all use AI in our own way words. Do Siri, Google Assistant, or Alexa ring a bell to you? Yep, that's right. Without even knowing it, you're interacting with AI. This extends well beyond voice assistants. It's there in the background, helping me select products on Amazon, choose my next binge watch on Netflix, and much, much more. When AI became accessible to the general public, I was ready to jump in and explore. Its applications seem endless, and so are the ways it has been revolutionizing my life. From saving me heaps of time to reducing my daily workload, AI has been a game changer. But this enthusiasm wasn't shared by everybody. When I invited people to learn about my AI journey, some reactions were, to say the least, rather unexpected. Here's one reaction that hit me hard. It was a message in all caps. You are entitled to tout AI. May it bring you all you deserve. It will not end well. Delete me from your mailing list. Talk about raining on my parade. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand why this fear and resistance towards AI exists. After all, the rate of technological innovation is incredibly high. It's like trying to keep your head above water in a sea of changes. Peter Diamandis even speculated that we'll experience about 100 years worth of tech innovation within the next decade. Dealing with such an overwhelming pace is not easy. In light of these anxieties, I want us to explore AI together, to dissect our fears and biases and replace them with a better understanding and set of questions. Whether you plan to use AI or not, I believe this discussion would grant you a more peaceful perspective and might even kindle your enthusiasm if you're already interested. Here are two things which I think you should know right from the beginning. First, AI has a long history. The concept of AI first christened the field of research back in 1950, thanks to Alan Turing, one of the most brilliant minds of the time. Some of you may know that he cracked the code that the Nazis were using to send messages. Quite an interesting history he has. Since then, the world has witnessed a rise of many AI iterations. It was just absent in the commercial realm until recently. So being fearful of AI won't immunize you from it. It's a genie that's out of the bottle for good. You just can't avoid it. And as Byron Katie likes to say, if you fight with reality, you lose, but only 100% of the time. My hope is that we all win with AI together. So number two, detractors who've sent me disconcerting messages out of fear, not all of them, but some of them, they need to comprehend that AI is here to stay. To influence its direction, we must engage in meaningful discussion. When encountering something that instills fear in me, my first instinct as a scholar is to ask questions. I want to invite you to do the same thing. The current conversation on AI seems narrowly focused on business and monetary gains, which to me is a vast underutilization of its potential. It's amazing. Let's make that clear. Like, I love the business implications and I'm using them everywhere I can, in ways that are ethical, in ways that are time saving, in ways that support me in actually creating more amazing work for the people who rely on me. But I want to talk about some of these much more broad, interesting questions. And to those apprehensive about AI, it's okay to be fearful in the face of a concept that's misunderstood or new. But instead of a flat out no, why not try on just for a few minutes asking some questions? For example, if you're afraid that AI will put people out of work, which it will, it already has, but so has the industrial evolution that's been going on for quite a long time, right? You might ask instead of, oh my gosh, what's going to happen if AI takes me out of work? You might ask, how can AI help people that it displaces find more meaningful work? Now, I actually asked ChatGPT this question, and honestly, the answer was really compelling and useful. And it wasn't even the kind of answers that we would just think about with AI. It was the same kind of questions that are being asked around what happens when clean energy replaces things like fossil fuels. Really interesting. Maybe try that out. Just see what you get. Or if you're really afraid, maybe ask, how can I protect myself from AI? At very least, that question will start to entertain what are the real dangers instead of, oh my gosh, everything is just terrible, we have to stop. So there are so many good questions to be asking that can help us push the technology into a place where we're better served by it. Here are a few we can start with, and I would love to hear your comments, your ideas, your suggestions in the chat below. Question one, how do we use AI to bolster our human connections? We already know without AI that there's a loneliness epidemic going on in the US, in Europe, in Canada, across the planet. The Dalai Lama has even called this out as a Western epidemic of loneliness. So AI might be able to help us. Obviously, working at home, being on our own, that's more isolating. We experienced a lot of that during COVID. But what can it do to help us get out of that space so we can get out of working at home and into life again? So, really easy starting place. It can help us alleviate our hectic schedules, thus freeing us more time for human connection. On the surface, this is really easy. It's helped me personally decrease my time spent on email. It's helped me research. It's helped me organize. Doing things like a spreadsheet have become a snap. These are not things that are taking jobs from anyone, right? They're just helping me. The work I would have done anyway go so much faster. Now, if we get really fun, we could notice that AI might help people connect based on shared interests and maybe even find love. There's a dating app out right now that's just beginning to use AI at a much deeper level to make partnerships with people. And considering how hard it is to meet anyone these days and how crazy awful most of the dating apps are, I think any AI improvement would be welcome here that would help us connect with someone we're really interested in talking to. Question two, how can AI support us in our current work? Now, I already talked about this a little bit, but AI can drastically enhance our work experience. It can outsource repetitive tasks like data sorting, answering emails, scheduling appointments. It's been helping me to go out and get research on things like travel and organize it easily and quickly. Trust me, it's given me more time to engage in enlightening studies and come up with fresh ideas. So it's giving me the space to do what's really important to me. And I suspect it could do the same for you in some areas of your life. So question three, how can AI help us solve complex questions? Now, this is where I start to get really, really excited um, because we have so many problems on our planet that are very complex, that have data sets coming in from all different directions that one human mind will have a really hard time holding on to. So consider this. Let's look at an example. The futurist Buckminster Fuller famously said in the 1970s that the Earth had enough resources to feed absolutely everyone on the planet. Yet numerous people lack healthy sustenance due to insufficient distribution. They just can't get the food. So if we started to play with AI, which I actually did, I started to play with this problem solving, and I asked AI to begin to synthesize data from across the globe to look at food distribution. What solutions would it come up with? What questions would it ask? Being able to do things like track where food is in a given moment so it doesn't go bad, to be able to manage crises and shortages. This is one of the big promises. Now, this is just one problem that's happening multinationally with lots and lots of real-time data that need to be tracked. This is going to be a space where as AI grows, we're going to be able to use it for predictive understanding and planning. So let's look at question four. How can AI help us address novel problems? Novel just meaning usually problems that either didn't have enough of a market share or enough interest to be able to solve them. I want to take a look at David Eagleman's company, Neosensory, as an example. This company just fascinates me. And they decided, I should tell you first that David Eagleman is a neuroscientist at Stanford, very reputable, very smart, got his hands in all kinds of pots. So his company made a little wristband that looks a lot like a Fitbit that actually helps people with hearing loss to better discern subtle sounds. As we get older, there's certain things that we can't hear as well. So usually sounds like V's, B's, T's, they get muddled. And so a word like truck might sound like duck, right? So before you know it, we can't hear the word. So this little device gives a little haptic vibration to notice a T versus a V versus a B. And what he's found is within about 3 weeks, the brain with this little haptic vibration can start to discern words a whole lot better. And many people have been able to leave their hearing aids behind. Now, I'm not a proponent for his company. I don't know him personally. I make no money from him. I just find this technology fascinating. So I was listening to him on a podcast, and he was talking about some of the other applications of this same technology. One of which was to help autistic people, people on the autism spectrum, understand the emotional state of people they're interacting with. Now, if you have friends who are on the autism spectrum, you will understand what a massive, massive gift this is. For people who are on the spectrum, there's often a hard time reading other people's emotions. Now, traditionally, the way to solve for that has been to show people pictures. This is a happy face. This is a sad face. This is an angry face. That is very difficult for people to learn, but people do a lot of work to be able to learn that. So what this little wristband will do is listen to the tone of voice, the speed, and be able to predict what emotion the person that you're talking to is experiencing. So if they're happy, you might get one little haptic tip. If they're sad, it might be in another place. When I shared this with one of my friends who's on the autism spectrum, there was just this huge sigh of relief and the understanding of all of the ways that this could change the lives of people across the planet who have autism. So these are just two examples. We could go on and on and on, but I want to go on to question 5. How can AI help us expand our thinking and abilities? Now, I've been a professor for a really long time, a scholar and a teacher, and this is one of the areas that has gotten me the most excited. AI has the capacity to assess an individual's interest and information quickly and prepare a custom learning plan that is engaging and appropriate. Now, I know what people are going to say, because and trust me, from a teacher's perspective, I get it. There's going to be this sense like, oh my God, you're trying to replace teachers. Not at all. I can tell you when I was a professor, I had in some of my classes up to 80 students. There was no way for me to individually connect with every single student, even though I wanted to. So to be able to help them get clear about what's exciting to them and then meet with them once they're through that process is absolutely amazing. When I think about this in terms of educational theory, some of you may know the work of John Dewey, who wrote in the 20s and beyond. Lots and lots of educational theorists have said, the best way to teach kids is to get them excited about something. So if, let's say, a little girl is excited about dinosaurs, and I want to help her learn how to read, one of my best bets is going to be able to share books about or stories about dinosaurs with her. Perhaps have her tell stories, have her interact and share her thoughts, her dreams, her questions. And not only does that teach her reading, it starts to ask questions about science, about math, about a whole host of things based on her interests. Now, in most classrooms, and I hate to say it, but the education system in most of the Western world is really designed to help create factory and office workers. So these classrooms where you see everybody lining up to look at a teacher in the front, not give any of their own ideas, really just to regurgitate what a teacher's told them, that's not preparing people to get excited about learning. It's not helping people learn how to learn. So if I can teach people using AI as a support tool, if I can help them find the things they're excited by, and then also help them figure out where they're having difficulties and literally customize instruction to the places where they're struggling, this is amazing. It moves education beyond the one-size-fits-all approach, which we all know only really hits the middle. So the kids who are a little slower need more help, and the kids who are a little faster and need even more kind of stimulation. Everybody there gets missed. And the reality is everybody's in both of those places some of the time in some subjects. So this gives us a very customized approach to education. Now, again, I could go on and on and on about this because I'm so excited and I think the implications are phenomenal. But I'm going to have to close this for today with the words of Peter Drucker, who once said, "The greatest danger in times of turbulence is not the turbulence itself, but to act with yesterday's logic." This might remind you of Einstein, who told us that we can't solve the problems of the world with the tools that created them. We have to have new ways of thinking, new ways of engaging. So we can't pretend that AI just doesn't exist. We can't revert to pre-AI thinking. We have to embrace what is and go from there. One of the best ways to do that is just by asking questions, to be an honest, open, curious conversation. So we get the lay of the land and we see what's really going on. So I'm excited to take you on this AI journey with me. Innovation in the world of AI is progressing at a rapid pace, and it's an incredible privilege to usher in these transformative changes together. My program at bit.ly/soulfulai not only teaches you how to master the uses of AI in your business and life, but it also encourages a different perspective. It emphasizes purposeful usage, ethical considerations, and maximizing the ability of AI to make a positive difference. Let me just be super clear. I know a lot of what you're seeing is saying, let AI run your business, let it write your book, let it do all these things for you. Here's the reality of that. If you have gone and tried it, and I have, because I'm just curious what it would do, what you'll find is you get really bad books, you get really bad thinking. You have to partner with AI to get it to create something useful. So there's nothing here that's eliminating humans. It's really about partnering with humans to create a better experience. But remember, the key thing here isn't just the technology or what it can do. It's about us as individuals and as a community embracing the changes it brings to our lives. It's about how we can harness AI to aid us, enhance our skills, improve our connections with others, and shed light on novel solutions to complex global issues. So let's get curious and excited about AI together. I look forward to seeing your comments and answering any questions you may have. And remember, you can always jump into this thrilling world of AI by joining us at bit.ly/soulfulai. Before I sign off, I encourage you not just to watch the rise of AI from the sidelines, but actively participate and shape its direction. By engaging thoughtfully, we can influence how AI is used and ensure it truly benefits us all. Until the next video, keep exploring, stay curious, and let's continue the conversation. This is Dr. Scott signing off for now, but excited to continue our journey together through the world of AI.